Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Kansas Moonshot Podcast, where we are shining the spotlight on amazing things happening in schools across the state. Whether you're one of the Mercury, Gemini, or Apollo schools launching some amazing redesign plans, or a teacher trying to do something a little different, I want to share your story. The goal is to celebrate the awesomeness all around us.
I have the opportunity to interview our guests this week. This week, the guests are Team 8234, the Santa Fe Trail Cyclone Robotics team that I am fortunate enough to get to coach this team. And so they're going to tell you a little bit about Lego Robotics. They're going to tell you a little bit about how the competition works, the things they've done to gear up for their competition, and then they've got a championship coming up in January. And so they're going to share a little bit about all of that. This is only part of the team that is here today, so they're going to introduce themselves, and then they'll tell you a little bit about how robotics works. So if you could start by just sharing your name and what grade you're in.
Hello, I'm Colton. I'm in grade 6.
Hello, I'm Julian. I'm in grade 8.
Hi, I'm Jackson, and I am in grade 6.
I'm Andrew, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is TJ. I am in 8th grade.
My name is Chase. I'm in grade 6.
All right. So to start off with, the Lego competition, the practices kick off in August. And we come together as a team. They had tryouts for the team. These are some of the kids who made the team. It was a pretty tough process going through those tryouts. But the whole focus is geared towards these competitions. So the first element of that competition is a presentation. So Julian, do you want to share a little bit about what do those presentations entail on competition day?
Well, yeah, so out of the main 3 pillars that make your grade or what you
your
what
score
gets you to advance, your score. One of them is being the presentations. And for practices and stuff, we don't only have to practice with the robot, but half of the practice is making that presentation and making it work out so that when we do go to a competition, it'll be perfect enough to where it gets us points and we can advance.
And there are 3 categories for the presentations.
Yeah.
And so what the first category is your project, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to present on your robot, how you designed it.
Yeah.
And then finally you have to present on, guys help me out, what's the third one? Core values. Okay. Actually, Chase, do you want to explain what those core values are? Kind of what's the focus of that?
So the core values are really what all the teams what we pride ourselves on, making sure we stick with, like teamwork, discovery, impact, inclusion, and fun.
Yeah.
Those are, I think, all of them. And we make sure we try to put all of those together to make our robotics team better and help others with what they need.
Excellent. And so really, I always tell the team that is my primary focus. I want you guys to come across great handshakes, be kind to others, help other teams out, be respectful. And that's one thing that we always score really well on. And in fact, we got a perfect score on our core values because we were just awesome, right? Perfect score? No, we lost 1 point for core values.
2.
2 points. Oh, man. All right. So we lost 2 points for core values, but overall we scored well enough to move on at least. So that being said, that's only half the competition is presentations. That's the morning of the competition. Afternoon is all about the robot. So TJ, do you want to explain how the robot works? What are we trying to accomplish?
So a big part of the FLL City Shaper is the robot. So we have a board consisting of over 15 missions, and our goal is to complete as much as we can within a time period of 2.5 minutes. It may seem easy, but it is really hard programming the robot to complete a series of obstacles, including City Shaper. That is our theme for this year. So we are moving cities, we are using cranes, we are doing a bunch of series of missions, including theme City Shaper.
And are you guys allowed to remote control the robot?
No, it is all programming. That is what we do within our practices.
And so each year there's a new board, new layout, new missions, completely different feel. And so this year, like TJ said, the theme was City Shapers. And so it's just all about how to develop the community, something like that. So they do that 3 different times in the afternoon, and you get the best score of the 3, and that determines your robot score, which determines applies towards your overall score, right? How does this year compare? TJ, you've done this a couple of years in a row. How does this year's missions compare to previous years? Julian, too.
So we've been on the team for 3 years, and we've actually got more than 3 times the amount of points that we've scored in the previous years, which is a very, very big improvement. So we got a total of 195 points.
Yes. To be fair, we got 195 points. Was that for all 3 rounds, or?
Our highest score overall.
Yeah, and what happened in the first 2? Well, what'd you guys discover?
Okay, so it was a very big panic. Lots of missions went sideways, and our robot broke several times. So that was very stressful, but finally at the end we pulled ourselves together and were able to score more points than we planned on.
And that's what I like, is that you guys were troubleshooting throughout the day. You solved problems, you figured things out, you didn't lose your cool too much. I mean, you may have been able to hide it a little bit. I saw a little bit of stress, but you guys handled it really well and responded really well, and because of that, you guys overcame those obstacles. So that's all part of it. One other presentation that you had to do was your project presentation. Again, along with the City Shapers theme, you guys had a research project. So Jackson, do you want to talk about that research project?
So, for the research project, we were studying light in buildings and mainly schools. So we researched things such as how different types of light affect students, and we ran a few experiments. Which, is anybody else going to talk about the experiments?
No, you can talk about the experiments as well.
Okay. So where we put a few students through some tests of different subjects and in different lights, and we found that just a little bit of blue light was good.
Like a combination of blue light mixed with natural light.
Yeah. And so not only did we research the effects of light on students, but we also researched borrowed light, which is when there's a window leading to outside, and then there's another window on the inside that doesn't go to outside, or maybe like in a hallway, which allows the natural light from the hallway to come into the room. And you see that sometimes on doors in schools that have the windows, like the windows on the doors, because you can see like some of the natural light from a hallway, or maybe it doesn't have any natural light coming through. So we were researching ways that we could fix that, because natural light is also a good thing.
And why is that important for schools, especially like Santa Fe Trail? What's wrong with Santa Fe Trail at the moment that struggles with that?
We don't have much like natural light or borrowed light.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Well,
you want to add to that?
And
most important, we have an old school. So our school, a long time ago, these factors were not taken into consideration. So schools were built with a minimal amount of windows.
Yep. So, and I love Santa Fe Trail, but that is one struggle for the school, is that we just don't have natural light. And so we look for any ways to bring in some of that natural light. And so we actually had the opportunity to interview Mr. Palangi from the district. And what did you guys talk to him about? Joanne, what do you think? What did you guys talk to him about?
We talked to him about possibly getting a grant to maybe put some more windows in. And we just talked about what lighting does and how he has, like... Oh, by the way, he's the
Executive Director of Facilities and
Operations.
Operations, yeah, for the district.
Yeah, I talked to him how he thought our situation was here, about how our windows and everything, and what we think. No.
And we gave him some suggestions, some things that we would like to see. Some of them, and he liked some of them. He explained why some of them wouldn't work. For example,
Asked him what he would like to see or what would be the most sensible.
and like for example, you guys proposed skylights, but then he explained how that wouldn't necessarily be cost efficient because of the possibility of leaking water into the building and those sorts of things. But I feel like you guys had a really good discussion with him. You also worked with Mrs. Hellman to set up the science experiment. You worked with Mrs. Ulmer to work on ways to look at light differently. Do you guys remember doing that? Who can explain what the spectroscope does? You guys got a chance to look at the spectroscope. Chase?
So what a spectroscope does is it's a black tube or a black triangle type thing that has two, and like one slit at the very end, then you have a lens that you look through. And when you look, you point it at light, then you look off to the side, and it shows you all the different colors that are inside the light that you are looking at.
Yeah. And so you guys had a chance to look at different light sources. You looked at a light shining through electrifying elements, right?
Yes.
And I don't remember what elements exactly we looked at, but you had the chance to look through those and see how the different light spectrums change. So all of that was connected around LEGO Robotics. So you guys learned some science, you learned some programming, you learned some presentation skills, you learned how to have fun, collaborate with others. So I'll ask each of you, what was your favorite part so far? Because we still have championship coming up in January. What's been your favorite thing about robotics so far?
The friends we made along the way, working together and everything, finding out solutions as a team.
Good.
Mine was definitely coding the robot 'cause we ran into a lot of problems.
So that's interesting that you would say one of your favorite things was coming up with finding problems and then solving them? Excellent.
To me, my favorite part was coming together during practices, having fun while putting missions with the robot and doing research. And also, I liked solving a problem in our community and researching it with other people.
Jackson?
Honestly, the whole thing, just all of it, watching the robot finally being able to, almost complete a mission, and especially at the competition, just watching the robot do so much more than it could before the competition. And so, yeah, pretty much all of it.
Just everything. Awesome.
My favorite part throughout the season was constructing the robot. It was just a great experience to go through all these problems and find solutions while using creativity and innovation.
This might seem weird, but my favorite part was when we actually had to rebuild the robot because we found some issues inside the design that we were able to fix.
Excellent. And you were able to overcome those challenges?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. And so, like I said, this is about half the team. The other half of the team, they are all trying out for the talent show. So shout out to Lorelai, Layla, Andrea. Who am I missing? Oh, and Philip. So shout out to them and Ernie. They are not here with us, but they're with us in spirit with this interview. Did I miss anyone? Okay, all right, that's everyone. All right. Any other last-minute comments about the competition, about robotics? Colton?
So one thing we definitely stressed a lot about is at the competition, we couldn't get a board all the time, so we had to improvise, and that did not work out very well. But one thing that made us mad is once we did get a board, some of our missions got cut off, so we had to reprogram them, and then our robot did not like to turn very well. So we had the mission coded, and then the mission ran, robot came up, and it just barely missed. And it did not work very well.
So again, you guys found lots of ways to solve and overcome problems. If you are a teacher in the district that is looking at possibly participating in Lego robotics, there is the First Lego League, which is for middle school, and then there's the Junior FLL for elementary school. Currently, Chisholm Trail, California Trail, and Santa Fe Trail are the 3 middle schools that currently have a robotics program. I believe there's a collection of a couple of elementary schools that also have robotics programs at their school. So feel free to reach out to any one of us. We would love to help you out. If you want to form a team, I can give you all kinds of advice, suggestions, but I'd highly encourage it. The kids learn so many different new skills. They have a lot of fun while they're doing it. And overall, it's just an amazing program. So we always wrap up every practice with something very, very important, and that is our cheers. We are known for our cheers. We are legends because of our cheers. We drive other teams crazy because of our amazing cheers. So, who wants to kick it off? Anyone?
Cyclones are what? Red hot! Cyclones are what? Red hot! Cyclones are R-E-D-W-H-O-T. Cyclones are R-E-D-W-H-O-T. Red hot, red hot, red hot. Boom!
For more information about this episode, check out my website, MrStockRocks.com. If you know someone doing something awesome in their classroom, let me know about it. I'd love to have them on the show. You can email me at teachlikeaninja@gmail.com or follow me on Twitter at teachlikeaninja. I've been your host, Josh Stock, 6th grade language arts teacher and self-proclaimed awesomeness expert. Until next time, book it forward and be awesome.